Hi, I'm Oscar and I'm a scientist. In today's video we're going to talk about personal statements. This is one of the types of documents that you can use to strengthen your EB2 NIW petition. I'm going to show you what they are and how you can use it and how you can write one so you are successful in your green card application. Let's jump in. In previous videos, we saw how the I-140 petition is structured. In general, all the parts and pieces, and I have here a refresher of the structure of the petition. We have the forms and the fees, the cover letter that really is the central piece of the petition, and then all the exhibits, which are the attachments, the actual evidence that you need to provide because you're making a lot of claims and you have to substantiate the claims. The personal statement is one of the documents that you can attach as an exhibit in your petition, and then you can cite it in your cover letter. If you want to go back and check what the whole petition is about, I recommend that you go to my video on it, and I leave a link here in the corner where you can go and spend some time on that before watching this video. But what is a personal statement? Is a document that is drafted by the petitioner, and you explain the professional plans that you have once you are in the United States. It may seem redundant because in the cover letter you're already talking about your plans, your endeavor, but it may bring additional clarity to the USCIS officer, and it's a very direct letter to them that I think it may be a good idea for most people to add. It defines the type of activities that you plan to do. So in the endeavor discussion, you talk in a more generic way. Here, you're going to talk in detail about the projects. You can use short pieces of this personal statement in the cover letters. So you can quote yourself in the cover letter, but you have that attachment of the personal statement with the full text, and then you just use the parts that are most critical, similar to what you would do with a recommendation letter. And by the way, if you want to learn more about the recommendation letters, I also have a video on them that I leave here in the corner. When is a good idea to write a personal statement? Well, I think for anyone that is an employee in a company or that plans to be an employee in a company, is a good idea. For example, if you're a scientist like me, or you're an IT worker or engineer or pilot, I think I exclude business people and entrepreneurs from this list because they can use a business plan instead. A business plan is some sort of a personal statement, but it goes beyond. It talks about a potential or already existing business and the market expectation, the structure of the business, and so on. So if you're going to have a business plan, then I would probably not do a personal statement. That's my message here. How to go about making a personal statement for this EB2 NIW category? Well, I have a suggested structure here for this statement. First, you always start with the date on top, then you have a salutation to the USCIS officer, for example, dear sir or madam, to whom it may concern, any type of greeting. Then you have a subject line, for example, personal statement, name and last name. And then the first part of the letter, this is really a letter, you have your background. You repeat your background, maybe you condense your background in summary. And then this should be less than half of the document because the main purpose is the next part, is the professional plans. At least half the document should be your description of your plans for your work in the United States if you are granted the permanent residency. We'll talk next about how to structure this subsection. Finally, you will put your name and sign it, and I always recommend to sign with ink because it looks so much more professional. So what should you include in this personal statement, particularly getting deeper into the professional plans? Well, first of all, you can use subheaders or paragraphs, any of those or both of them, to distribute the content in the personal statement. In the first paragraph or section, you will provide an overview of your plans, a general view of what you plan to do. For example, if you are a scientist like me, for me it would be, well, I plan to work on developing processes for biofuels and bioproducts. And I talk a little bit about that general field and the general impact of that field. But then in the next sections, I structure them in the different projects that I plan to undertake, or sub-projects, or subtasks within the overall endeavor. For example, in my case, one could be development of process for bioethanol production. And another one could be development of processes for RNA synthesis. So you see that they are both part of the main endeavor, but they are sub-projects or different projects. While you're doing that, you should link each project to the national importance. And that way you're already working on the first prong of the matter of Danazar. And if you want to remember all the prongs of the matter of Danazar, go to this video that I leave here. You should explain the type of job that the petitioner yourself you're seeking. What type of job you're planning to do? Well, if you are a scientist, what kind of scientist you are or you're planning to be? Are you planning to head a group? Are you planning to coach others? Are you planning to be an individual contributor? Give a little bit of details on what you are thinking. What is the vision of your professional career, not only in the immediate future, but also a few years from now. If you're already in the US, talk about your current position to give the officer a clear idea of what you're planning to do. Refer to recruiters approaching you. If that is the case, sometimes we get messages asking for apply for a job, to go to an interview. That shows that you are well positioned because other companies are looking for your services. So if you are in that category of people, then make sure that you write about it and then you provide the evidence in a separate exhibit. And that can be an email from a recruiter or a message in LinkedIn or whatever it is. And finally, wrap up by reaffirming how convinced you are that you will easily find a job or retain a job and once you obtain your permanent residency. Because that shows the USCIS officer that you not only have a plan, but actually you are well positioned to continue your career in the US. And that's part of the second prong of the matter of Danazar. More on the value of a personal statement. It articulates your plans in the US properly. It helps the officer to understand that you have a specific vision and plan. And again, it establishes the second prong of Danazar better. And actually, the USCIS Policy Manual, which I will leave a link in the description below, refers to this document, the personal statement, as one of the documents that you can use for the second prong. And it literally says, this is a copy-paste, a plan describing how the person intends to continue the proposed work in the United States. So you can see that this is really what we have been discussing in this video. So that's it for today. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, activate the bell for notifications, give comments in the videos, visit my website EB2NIW.info to learn more about this category that allows you to get a green card without a sponsor, without a job offer in the United States.